Hello and welcome back to the channel. Animated Alex here, hope you're all doing well. This video is basically me revisiting the first game that I made in Sinclair Basic. It's called Speccy. I released it on itch back in 2024 when the Spectrum first came out, I think it was. I was quite proud of my little creation. I wanted to create 4 levels, which I managed to do. A little bit of a theme to the game as well. So you're collecting the logo colours from the Spectrum. Basically, they've been stolen and you've got to get them all back. And there's no user-defined graphics in this. I basically just used the character set off the keyboard. Now, when playing this, there are a lot of improvements I could now make to this, knowing what I know now with my journey with learning Basic. For instance, the first thing I noticed with this when playing it, I'm moving the little magenta @ symbol around there. That's Speccy. I'm using in keys for the movement, so I can't push 2 keys at the same time. So that is one of the improvements that needs to be done. I should have used the in command, and at the time I didn't know about the in command, so that's my excuse for that one. So yeah, also the joystick as well, it works, but I've got the same issues with that, so I need to revisit that and make it so you can do a run and jump. I know now how to do that. So, you know, you're pushing the fire button and moving left or right at the same time, that it'll achieve what I'm trying to ask it to do. I mean, at the time, like I said, I was quite proud of how this game came out. It is a little bit sluggish, but it's playable. And for Basic, I'm quite pleased with the way it turned out. I got quite a lot of the ideas from this game when I created my recreation of Manic Miner on how to do the character movement with the jumping and so forth. Oh, there's the Sinclair C5, the drawing that I recently just shared on how to do the draw and circle commands. That was my previous video that I've just shared. But yeah, let's just stop it there. So if I put let win equal 4 and continue, I can now push 1 and we can zap through the levels, so at least I can show you each level without having to play them. This was the wine cellar, so I've got the word basic there, and we've got to collect all the yellow coins in each level, which will then allow us to get the coloured block. This was one of my favourite levels that I made, actually. Well, still not very good at playing it. But I'm trying to do a run and jump there, but of course I can't push 2 keys at the same time. So it is very sluggish. I'm tempted to do a compiled version of this and re-release it. But I'm going to look at the program in a minute and just show you some of the improvements I could have perhaps made. So we switch the little switch, which releases some more coins. And it drains the wine glass. And now that I can get to the green block, but what I mustn't do is fall on that green block until I've collected all of the coins. And you'll see down in the right-hand corner there, oh, too busy yapping, not paying attention. We've got one that's flashing, and that will give me an extra life. So yeah, that was that level. This was the final level, the games room. So we've got a joystick being drawn there and a TV. And I got 2 baddies moving in there, 2 little red asterisks. Oh, let me go back to that. Let's just fast forward back to that level. Let win equal 4. Continue. 1. I put a little system in there, so if I put win equals 4, I could go through the levels quickly so that I could test them while I was programming. And I left that actually in the main game. You just have to go in and put a rem statement on a certain line number to get it to work. If I push 1 again, so we're back to the games room. So yeah, in this level, just wait for it to load up. That's another thing with basic. The draw takes forever to bloody get up on the screen. I've got 2 red asterisks moving there, 2 enemies, so that has slowed us up. Just fallen into one. That has slowed the game up, having them 2 moving. But what I've learnt now, I could improve that and I could speed that up, no problem at all. Like I did in my game, Sinclair Basic game, where I've got quite a lot of movement on the screen. I could use that technique to improve this, and that would make that a lot quicker. So yeah, from my journey in learning the Spectrum Sinclair Basic, there are a lot of improvements I could do on this. Let's have a look at the program. This is where I'm really going to rip this apart now and give myself a bit of a beating, because let's go to the start. So line 4, obviously I've got the intro of what the program is. And I've got too much at the top of the screen there. Where's the gaming loop? You know, the gaming loop is too far down before I even get to it. I'm going through all this crap, you know, going through all the level designing, going through all the variables. So that is one thing that would need to be changed on this. That gaming loop should have been right at the top, not wherever it is. I think it's down in the bottom somewhere or in the middle. I don't know. Because during the creation of this, I only made 2 levels and thought I'm going to add another 2. So they were put down at the bottom of the program. So like I say, it's very untidy. The program is very untidy. It needs to be looked at. If I'm going to compile it, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much, because it doesn't really matter, does it? But from a basic aspect, if I'm going to keep it as a basic game, a lot of this would need to be moved around. My gaming loop is buried somewhere in the depths of the program, and it should be at the top. Let's go back to the top a minute. So from line 4, the first couple of lines should have been go subs going off to my level designs. And then the gaming loop should have started straight away after. Not how I've done it. Even my variables now with recent games I made, I like to go sub them away as well to the back end of the program, just to try and gain some sort of efficiency with speed. So my gaming loop is right at the beginning. So yeah, that is one thing, slap wrist for me at the time. But like I said, I was only learning. I didn't know. You know, I picked up some bad habits, perhaps reading stuff on the internet, which wasn't doing me any favours. So yeah, the whole program needs tidying up. And like I said previously, the controls need looking at. So the in command needs to be implemented into this, and the joystick needs to be improved. Would it speed it up? I don't know unless I do it. I think we would see some improvement. My level designing as well, that could be compressed down a bit. There's too many print statements going on there. I could maybe condense that and get it a little bit better. I don't know. But yeah, that was my first game, Speccy. So what I intend to do is I'm going to make some improvements to this. I'm going to add the in function. I'm going to improve the joystick control as well to make it a little bit more playable. And I'm going to try and compile it as well to make it quicker. So I'm going to have to do quite a lot of alterations in the program, because it was just way too fast when I first compiled this. In fact, I'll show you the compiled version without doing any tweaks to the program. So, okay, I've got the MCoder 3 all set up in the background. So all I've got to do is put load code, enter, and it should start compiling Speccy. And I'll show you what it's like without doing any tweaks to the basic. Just one thing to mention while this is loading the MCoder 3. It has recently come to light with reading comments on some of my videos when compiling that MCoder 3 doesn't seem to like 128k very much. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I've had one game that I created called Basic Invaders, and that was done in 128k. I compiled it, the game ran, but as soon as I went to push the fire button to shoot one of the baddies, the game crashed. And I've recently had communications with other people through the YouTube channel in the comment section that they've had similar problems with 128k. So it would seem that there is a snag there if you're trying to compile 128k. So I just wanted to mention that whilst I'm doing this video and I'm doing a little bit of compiling. So yeah, 48k is probably the way to go if you're going to compile using MCoder 3. Anyway, let's get back to this. Right, okay, that took just over 7 minutes to compile. So it was just like in the old days waiting for a Spectrum game to load. 7 minutes to compile that. So anyway, I'm not going to save it. There's no point because I already know what it's like. So I'm just going to put go to 1 to get the game going. So the compiled version, as you can see, the text is moving a lot quicker. The scrolling text. And look at the speed. So, yeah, obviously it's completely unplayable now. It's just too quick. So it needs work in there to slow it down as well. There we go. Whoa. Yeah. And unfortunately, I compiled it without pushing key 1 to skip through the levels, so we can't even see what the other levels run like. Yeah, way too fast. But there's potential there to improve that, slow it down, and make it a more workable game. A more playable game, I should say. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. You know, I always find it interesting to go back to the very first thing that you created and pick it apart and see how you can improve it. And that's what basically I'm doing with this. Because I was never 100% happy with it when I released it. But I didn't have the knowledge. I wasn't advanced enough at Sinclair Basic at the time to know where I'd gone wrong. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this little video of me picking one of my games apart. And I'll hopefully see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.